Hey everyone, welcome back to Playing Quietly. My name is Ryan, and today I am bringing you another Elden Ring guide. Today we're going to be discussing how to activate the Lift of Dectus by collecting the 2 halves of the Dectus Medallion, and we're going to do it super early so that we have access to all the cool things that are in the Altus Plateau. So, as with many things, we're going to start out at the first step, and we are going to make our way south to this road here. Then we're going to make our way north following this road all the way to the Third Church of America. Once we reach the church, we are going to go ahead and jump through this window here into this lake, and we're going to use this portal here to travel to Caelid quickly. Once you take the warp point, you're probably going to want to run inside this church and grab the Site of Grace here. Once we do that, we are just going to turn around and run past this giant gargoyle. He shouldn't be able to catch us. And we are going to activate another Site of Grace down this hill. We have a tier here that we can grab, or sorry, a seed that we can grab there. Once we activate the Site of Grace, we are just going to run across the bridge right at that scary looking dragon. However, much like the gargoyle, he is also going to be slow as dirt, and he's not going to be able to catch us. So don't worry about it. Just run right between his legs, and you will be totally fine. Once we are across the bridge, we are going to want to stick to the kind of right side here, and we don't want to necessarily aggro the boss by the tree. There are some lightning strikes, but don't worry about them. They shouldn't hit you. You'll be alright. Once here, we're going to just hop up the stones here and continue on our way. Now, after we pass that big ball, we are going to run and jump up here to this big dragon and run past him. And we're going to be looking for another Site of Grace by this fort. There might be some other drakes about. Don't worry about it. You're just going to run right past them. And this is the Site of Grace we are looking for. Alright, so now, if we look at our map, we have our Fort Theroth Site of Grace, and we're just going to enter the fort, and we're going to run past all the enemies that are inside here, just like so. And we're going to be looking for a ladder off in the distance right there, and we're just going to run up that as fast as we can. Once up the ladder, we are going to find the first half of the Dectus Medallion inside a chest, and we are good to go. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is warp back to the Third Church of America. From here, we are going to be running south until we reach this point right here, which is going to be another fort. Alright, so now that we have reached the fort here, we are going to go ahead and grab the Site of Grace at the base of this cliff here. And you have a few options from here. These enemies here are not all that tough, even in the very beginning of the game. However, we are just going to run past all of them because we are interested in doing this as quickly as possible. Now there is another seed that we are able to grab here. I would recommend getting it. And we are going to avoid these soldiers here. We're going to take that shot, it's not a big deal. Run past the pumpkin head. And there are going to be some rats in here that can cause problems, as well as these guys that are throwing these fire flasks at us. But they are simple enough to avoid. On our left side here is going to be a more powerful enemy who we might want to kill later to get his Ash of War. But for now, we're just going to run up these stairs and hopefully he doesn't kill us. Alright, we are probably fine. And much like in Fort Faroth, we are just going to grab the second half of the medallion right here. Alright, so now that we have both halves of the medallion, we are going to warp back to the gate front. Alright, so from the gate front, I want to show you guys the path that I used to skip the entire first castle and get to Liurnia of the Lake so that we can get to the lift as fast as we can. Alright, so from here we are going to run past this lady, and we're going to be looking for a place to jump down from this bridge here. Right here. And we're going to make our way along the side of the castle. Now there are going to be some wolves in this area, but you can just run past them quite easily. And once we arrive here, we are definitely going to want to pick up this Site of Grace. After you pick it up, we're just going to move along and follow this path here, which is going to wind down towards the lakes. This will bring us out towards a outpost here, and we're just going to run right through it, and we will be fine. No one will be able to touch us. Now, we are going to find a Site of Grace right here that we are definitely going to want to pick up, because there are some very treacherous enemies in the lakes, and they are quite liable to one-shot us at this early stage. Now, this is the path that I usually take when I am running through the lakes for the first time. There's going to be a map that you're going to want to grab right there, but those guys are quite nasty, so you might have to kite them around a bit. Once you do get it, I would recommend going this way and following the path on screen. And that is going to bring us to this Site of Grace here, which you're definitely going to want to pick up, and behind us is going to be another map piece. Now from here we have two options. We can either ride this way to grab the key so that we're able to break the seal and get into Raya Lucaria. However, that is not what we are interested in today. We are going to be going the right path, and we're going to be going towards the Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. Alright, so now that we have made it to the Liurnia Crystal Tunnel, we are going to run this way, and we're going to be looking for a jet stream to carry us up towards the top. And that is going to be right here. And we're just going to take that way up here. And we're going to grab another Site of Grace right here, so that when we do get the key to the Liurnia Academy, we can come back here quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, from here, we are going to ride north and avoid as many enemies as possible. We shouldn't really run into anybody, and it should be quite easy. And here we are at the Lift of Dectus. All we have to do is hoist our medallion, and we are on our way up. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting or helpful, hopefully I have earned your subscription. In another video, we're going to be covering some of the very interesting and extremely useful things that we can get now that we are here really early in the game. But until then, we will see you guys next time. Have yourselves a good one.